Concerning my teaching and the topics and the traveling, giving seminars and teachings in different places, I lived in the ashrams for many, many years. In Shivananda Ashram 12 years and Yogananda Ashram 4 years, and I was a spiritual seeker for many years before that, actually since 1977, and had a German teacher before that. Then my Kriya master, Swami Gyanananda Giri, he's a Kriya master living near to Rishikesh in Dehradun. For many years he was telling me to give Kriya, and I did not want to give Kriya. I said, as long as you're here, I'll bring them to you. I am just a small Swami. What place do I have to start teaching other people? Because I was raised to believe that it's better to learn than to teach, and all of my Swami friends, none of them, as far as I know, want to be any kind of teacher or guru. They want to practice, they want to learn, and they want to have the freedom to do that. Beginning teaching is a big responsibility. It takes away a lot of freedom, and there is karmic responsibility that may be involved as well when you start helping others in that way, giving them any kind of mantra initiation or Kriya initiation, whatever. So it's not something to be taken very lightly. And after nearly 10 years of Swami Gyanananda pressuring me to give Kriya and to share something, one day he got angry with me. And he says, I don't understand why you became a Swami if you're not willing to share knowledge. It's the duty of a Swami to share knowledge, whatever knowledge he has gained at that point. So I thought about it, and I thought, well, maybe eventually I will evolve more and be suitable for helping others. And maybe Swamiji won't be here after some years, so I'll get instruction from him, how he wants me to do it. And he told me how to do it, to go about giving the first practices before Kriya, and then after people practice those for some time to give Kriya, because they're qualified if they practice regularly. And then Yoga Vidya invited me, so I started to come here some. And I remember in 2008 was my last darshan of Swami Chidananda, and I told him I was going for my regular teaching abroad. He had wanted to give me a donation for my ashram construction, and I said, Swamiji, I'm leaving for my teaching tour, 3 months in the West. And he said, oh, then you don't need my donation, you have so much money. I said, no, Swamiji, I don't have any money. I live completely by whatever donations I receive from people. And he says, I know, I understand. I live the same way. One person pays the ticket here, another person takes you here, they give you a place to sleep, give you some food. He says, I did that for so many years. So he was really happy for me to go and to share with others. Of course, I'm not generally teaching the traditional topics from Indian spirituality, not as much, because I have a much wider range of interest. I studied many of the traditional topics like the Yoga Sutras, the Gita, and such like that, the different pranayams. And then my interest kind of evolved. I went more into the Vedanta line, especially non-dual Advaita Vedanta, and then expanded into the new kind of philosophies that try to see the new paradigm that exists and is arising today, and how we can meet the new needs of today. And there I'm speaking of integral philosophy and integral spirituality. So I teach quite a range of topics. Mainly, I like the Raj Yoga line side quite well, being a Kriya yogi. So I like to teach about pranayams, Kriya Yoga, and the nature of the mind. We have a seminar on yoga psychology and mind control, where I teach the traditional topics from Indian psychology about the nature of the mind and how to gain control of the mind, the pranayams and meditations to do that, and also bring in Western psychology and what it may offer insights into the subconscious and how to eradicate subconscious belief systems that sometimes meditation doesn't get at as well. So that course seeks to combine both aspects, and it brings in what's called Big Mind, which is a way to go through the various voices of the ego mind. It's a method, voice dialogue, a method of psychotherapy, of talking to various voices within the psyche. And finally, getting to the non-dual voices and experiencing a non-dual state of consciousness. So it's a very direct way to quickly experience non-dual consciousness. Of course, one of the most popular seminars, and my favorite, actually, in a way, is Kriya Yoga. I've been practicing Kriya Yoga since 1989, and I think it's the most powerful and direct way of stealing the mind and going into meditative states very easily and speeding up the evolutionary process very quickly. So I'm a very big advocate of the Kriya Yoga that Babaji gave to Lahiri Mahasaya, the founders of modern Kriya Yoga, and the lineages that come from Lahiri Mahasaya. I do want to say that there are other people teaching Kriya Yoga, sometimes in seminar houses and such. You really need to follow their lineage to make sure it comes from Lahiri Mahasaya. Many people say they're teaching Kriya, and Kriya is a word that many people can use because Kriya just means action. So it can apply to a broad range of issues, topics. But generally when we talk about Kriya Yoga, we're talking about a specific practice that Lahiri Mahasaya brought from Babaji, Mahavatar Babaji, the Deathless Guru, to reintroduce into the world. So it really is important to check, does it come from this lineage? Because it is a secret practice, and if it's not in the lineage, then it's almost impossible for the people to have the practice. And there are other lower aspects of practice coming from the Nath Yogis and Hatha Yoga. The cleansing processes of Hatha Yoga are often called Kriyas. And many times certain types of pranayams with mudras and bandhas are called Kriya Yoga. And those things are very beneficial, but there is a very powerful pranayam that Babaji gave that gives Kriya its power. And without that pranayam, I would not call it Kriya Yoga. So you just need to check on that. I also give seminars in integral philosophy and integral spirituality, and that is a new worldview that is arising now to meet the challenges of the modern age. It brings many disciplines together. It brings spirituality from non-dual philosophies such as Vedanta from India, or non-dual philosophies from Tibetan Buddhism or even Christianity, and brings them into the framework of the modern situation that we find ourselves in, with understanding that we came from the Big Bang, and the history, the deep history that we have from that knowledge that science has brought us. That deep history is the story of our universe and the story of who we are. And it's the story of evolution. We've come to realize that evolution is not a random process, but it is consciousness manifesting in the universe, and it is unfolding in the universe through certain definite patterns. And the impulse that all of us find within us that we want greater happiness and greater understanding, greater knowledge, to evolve spiritually, that is actually the evolutionary impulse manifesting on the individual level. It's not a personal thing. We are agents of evolution. That is a new vision, spiritual vision that's coming from integral philosophy. So integral philosophy brings a new worldview within the perspective of the ancient traditions. And I highly recommend you investigate it, or you can come to one of the seminars I teach regularly in that. Another seminar that I really enjoy a lot, and I've only been developing in the last couple of years, is Yoga Mythology and Symbolism. And people don't really explore this too much too often, and they see in Indian spirituality and in other forms of spirituality, even Christianity and Judaism and Western traditions of spirituality, they see the various images that are used. Images even in Egypt, in their traditions, or in Mesopotamia, in Sumeria, in Judaism, in Buddhism, and in India. For example, the Indian deities that we see, they have definite symbologies that are there to try to access our collective unconscious, and we meditate upon them and form sattvic thought patterns and subconscious sattvic images in our subconscious that help us to go deeper into the Indian spiritual life. So they have a meaning in themselves, and that unfolds as we meditate upon them. So that is a very, very good seminar as well. And I invite you to come and join me in the summers when I travel. God bless you. Thank you.